Judy excitedly shared her wish for a spacious room of about 220 square feet, a statement that earned a less enthusiastic response from her stepbrother. I happened to catch this exchange while I was busy unpacking. From the sidelines, her stepbrother jokingly warned against any complaints, humorously cautioning that disagreement could lead to fallout, all while packing his statement with a playful threat. Amidst their excitement about the new home, they seemed blissfully unaware of its hidden stories. Witnessing their happiness stirred a sense of compassion in me, prompting a decision to share some untold truths. My name is Frances, a 32-year-old with a passion for illustration, which I pursue alongside my primary job. My identical twin, Pamela, shares my artistic flair, but also carves out a niche in manga artistry. Our striking resemblance often led to amusing confusion, even among our parents. In our younger days, we reveled in the mischief our identical appearances allowed, from swapping places during exams to playful deceits. However, a stern reprimand from our father about the true purpose of our twinhood, to support, not to trouble others, led us to abandon such pranks. It was a pivotal moment of maturity for us both. While I remained single, Pamela found love and is happily married. Her journey to love was not without its pitfalls, often sought solace in my support through her past misadventures. Yet, her current marriage to Eric stands as a testament to genuine affection and understanding. Eric, who brings along Judy, his daughter from a previous marriage, was initially uncertain about his parenting due to his demanding job and frequent travels. His concerns about Judy's well-being and his initial hesitance to take on full-time parenting painted a complex picture of his circumstances. My initial judgment of the situation led to an awkward moment, for which I later apologized to both Pamela and Eric. They, in turn, assured me that my worries were understandable. It was clear that my concerns stemmed from a place of love for Pamela and a protective instinct towards Judy. My curiosity and protective nature, while potentially overstepping, were met with forgiveness, showcasing the strength and understanding within our family bonds. Today's events probably made you feel a bit more at ease, right? Initially, I was just as anxious as you, Frances. However, observing Eric's interaction with Judy, all my concerns melted away. It became evident to me how deeply he cherishes her. Their shared joy and laughter highlighted that my involvement was unnecessary. They possess a strong bond that enables them to face any challenge together. While I'm overjoyed that Pamela has found a dependable partner, I can't shake off a hint of loneliness. The sister who used to rely on me for everything, calling out big sister at every turn, seems to need me less. This change has left a void, making me feel as though my role as the protective elder sister has diminished. Yet knowing Pamela is content is truly what's most important to me. With genuine concern, I requested him to always look after Pamela. He vowed to treasure her forever. Our conversation then shifted to lighter topics, where Eric opened up about Judy and his past marriage. His demanding job had made it difficult for him to contribute to household tasks and childcare, which strained their marriage and eventually led to their separation. He admitted to prioritizing his career over family time, which placed a heavy burden on his wife. But when he spoke of Judy, his tone changed to one of pride. Describing her as a mischievous yet endearing child, he suggested she and I would get along well. This glimpse into his devoted parental side brought a smile to my face. Reassured by Eric's commitment to his family, I felt at peace knowing Pamela was in good hands. I resolved to minimize unnecessary interference in their life. That resolve was tested when Pamela appeared at my door during a torrential downpour, which had prompted flood warnings. Unanticipated and soaked, she sought refuge in my apartment, a reminder of the times she relied on me in our youth. After comforting her and preparing something warm to drink, her visit revived the familiar role I once played as her confidant and protector. Pamela, typically independent, only seeks help when she's truly overwhelmed. Her unexpected visit and evident distress signaled something was amiss. After ensuring she was warm and comfortable, I encouraged her to share what was troubling her. With a heavy heart, she confided that Eric had been behaving oddly. The gravity of her words and her weary appearance underscored the seriousness of the situation. Since moving in with Eric, Pamela had been balancing her work with household responsibilities, while also attending to Judy, who was still in high school. Working from home, Pamela had been managing a delicate balance, hinting at the complexity of the challenges she faced. Pamela shared with me that she had found herself burdened with nearly all the household duties. While she anticipated some responsibilities due to Eric's past marriage experiences, The extent to which all chores were being shifted onto her was overwhelming. Balancing her work with new, unfamiliar tasks like preparing daily lunches, cleaning sports uniforms, and organizing school supplies was challenging. Initially, Pamela accepted these duties as part of her role as a wife, but the expectations from Eric and Judy escalated rapidly. What started as routine household tasks soon included errands for Eric's work, preparing Judy for school, giving massages, and being at their beck and call. As time went on, both Eric and Judy began to undervalue Pamela's contributions, especially given her work-from-home status. Eric even resorted to emotional manipulation, insisting that since he was the financial provider, Pamela was obligated to fulfill every demand unconditionally. Any resistance from her was met with threats of divorce, effectively cornering her into compliance. Judy, who initially seemed friendly, started treating Pamela more like a servant, voicing complaints over trivial matters, and critiquing Pamela's efforts relentlessly. The situation deteriorated when Pamela, overwhelmed by the unfair demands, suggested Judy might take on some tasks herself. This led to contemptuous rebukes from Judy, who compared her workload to Pamela's, and belittled her for showing signs of fatigue. After Judy reported this to Eric, Pamela faced severe backlash, which silenced any thoughts of standing up for herself again. Pamela's passion for illustration, deeply connected to her mental well-being, suffered significantly under the strain. The constant criticism and fear of displeasing Eric or Judy stifled her creativity, leaving her unable to produce work for her clients. This cycle of silence and endurance became her reality, as she continued to perform tasks she loathed, such as making lunches for Judy and preparing Eric's work materials, all while desperately trying to avoid conflict. Their criticism extended to trivial matters, like the contents of Judy's lunchbox or the condition of Eric's shirts, further exacerbating Pamela's misery. Judy's insistence on maintaining a facade of homemade lunches at school and Eric's comparisons to his previous wife added layers of pressure. The Eric and Judy that Pamela, and by extension I, had known before the marriage had seemingly transformed, revealing a starkly different reality from what was once perceived. This revelation painted a distressing picture of manipulation and unrecognition, a stark contrast to the kind and sweet personas they once presented. The revelation of Pamela's ordeal left me stunned and deeply concerned. What am I supposed to do? I'm terrified of being with them. I can't bear the thought of returning to that house, Pamela confided to me, tears streaming down her face. My heart ached for her. It was inexcusable for her to be treated as an outlet for their frustrations. Embracing her tightly, I offered a shoulder for her tears, vowing to myself to protect her from further harm. As I pondered possible ways to help Pamela escape this toxic environment, my gaze landed on an old elementary school album. Flipping through its pages, memories of past mischiefs and the scolding that followed flooded back. It was then an audacious idea formed. "Remember how we used to swap places in school?" I asked Pamela. She nodded, puzzled. "Let's do it again. You take a break at our parents' house, and I'll step into your shoes at your home. We'll explain everything to our parents and make a plan to end things with Eric," I suggested. Pamela's worry was palpable. "But what if Eric and Judy realize? What might they do to you?" she fretted. I reassured her. "I'll manage. They won't suspect a thing. But Pamela, you need to be ready for the possible outcome. This might end in divorce. Are you prepared for that?" It was a heavy decision, and Pamela needed time to ponder her next steps. In the meantime, Pamela's situation at home remained unbearable, a relentless cycle of mistreatment and demands. Eventually, her resolve hardened, and she agreed to proceed with our plan. With a significant event for me on the horizon, the timing couldn't be better. We exchanged necessary items discreetly and set the plan in motion, with Pamela seeking refuge at our parents' house. My objective was clear: to collect enough evidence to support Pamela in a divorce and to confront Eric and Judy about their behavior. However, my first test came unexpectedly during dinner with Judy, when Eric exploded over a minor error with the bath preparation. His unreasonable expectation for the shower to be running upon his arrival home to preheat the bathroom was something I found absurd. His harsh critique over such a trivial matter gave me a glimpse into the daily challenges Pamela faced. As I apologized with a forced smile, Judy's suspicion grew. "You're acting weird. You usually crumble when Dad shouts. What's with the smile?" she remarked, clearly thrown off by my uncharacteristic response. Unlike Pamela, who avoids conflict and dislikes being scolded, I'm more inclined to face it head-on. This unexpected demeanor shift signaled the beginning of our carefully laid plan, a strategy born out of desperation to save my sister from a life of distress and to challenge the unjust dynamics she was subjected. I've always had a bold and fearless nature, never backing down from a challenge. My hobbies include cheering at wrestling matches, getting excited during soccer game scuffles, and even trying my hand at mixed martial arts. The thought of being intimidated by someone like Eric was foreign to me. However, to successfully step into Pamela's shoes, I realized I needed to adopt a more timid demeanor, something entirely against my nature. To convincingly mimic Pamela, I quickly adjusted my reaction to a concerned smile and began busying myself with the dishes, brushing off Judy's observations as mere imagination. Despite my natural inclination to stand my ground, I found myself having to feign fear, especially around Judy, whose sharp eye for detail posed a significant challenge. Eric, on the other hand, seemed less perceptive, giving me hope that I could navigate his presence with relative ease for a month. Pamela had painstakingly mapped out her daily routine for me, revealing a life that more closely resembled servitude than partnership. Her days began before dawn, preparing lunches, managing household chores, and squeezing in her work whenever possible, all while catering to every whim of Eric and Judy. The realization of her daily struggles was eye-opening, from ensuring everything was spotlessly clean to meet Judy's exacting standards, to preparing separate meals to accommodate their differing tastes. Pamela's life was a relentless cycle of demands and reprimands. The reason behind Pamela's tolerance of such a harsh living situation was rooted in her concern for our aging parents. Eric's generous financial support and his willingness to assist our parents with their needs placed Pamela in a difficult position, compelling her to endure the unbearable conditions. This manipulation of Pamela's kindness and sense of duty towards our parents was something I found deeply despicable. Understanding the dynamics at play and the extent of Pamela's sacrifice filled me with resolute anger. I promised Pamela and myself that I would not let her suffer any longer under the tyranny of Eric and Judy. Driven by a singular goal to protect my sister, I braced myself for a challenging month ahead. Enduring the constant belittlement and manipulative tactics was both physically and mentally taxing, but my determination to support Pamela never wavered. Finally, as the month concluded, we were able to move forward with our plan, surprising everyone with the acquisition of a new house for Pamela. This unexpected turn of events, a testament to our resolve, marked the beginning of a new chapter, free from the oppressive atmosphere that had once seemed inescapable. Grinning widely at them, I couldn't resist the urge to throw in a bit of sarcasm as a token of my gratitude for their past behavior. Despite my tone, Eric and Judy seemed oblivious, likely too mesmerized by the new house we stood in. Their eyes roamed the space, taking in every detail as they moved boxes and furniture around. The truth was that I had finalized the purchase of this house well before ending my previous lease without their input, which initially sparked their anger. How could you make such a decision without consulting me, the head of the family? And where did the funds come from? If I had known, I would have wanted to partake in designing our home. Eric had protested, not ready to let it go unless the house met his standards of style. However, their irritation faded the moment they saw the house's design and features. The backyard, the bathroom with a skylight, every detail seemed to impress them. "Pamela, you've got great taste," they exclaimed, unwittingly praising my decisions, which were, in reality, made with no thought of pleasing them. Their excitement at the thought of a reduced commute and the stylish layout made me smirk. "Pretty impressive, right?" I said, feigning modesty but secretly reveling in their astonishment. Eric, who had always seen himself as the financial pillar, never truly considered Pamela's economic contributions significant. He would often belittle her efforts, urging her to fend for herself financially. Their shock at discovering Pamela's financial independence was palpable, and I could almost see the gears turning in their heads, contemplating how they could benefit from this unexpected fortune. Yet, I was determined to prevent any further manipulation of Pamela. Hating my inner triumph, I watched as Eric and Judy excitedly debated over room assignments, each claiming the larger spaces as their own. Their mistaken belief that they were entitled to this house brought a chuckle to my lips, drawing puzzled glances. "What's so funny?" they inquired, unable to grasp the irony of their assumptions. "Oh, nothing. Just musing over your room choices," I managed to say, keeping up the act. Their laughter and carefree planning continued until I couldn't hold back any longer. "You do realize this is my house, not yours, right?" The confusion on their faces was priceless. "Are you out of your mind?" Eric retorted, convinced I had lost it. Not at all. I'm just wondering why you think you'll be living here, I countered, enjoying their bewildered expressions. Their confusion only deepened when Pamela and our parents arrived, congratulating me on the new house and revealing the truth. The revelation that I was Francis and the woman they had been living with was Pamela left them stunned. This house was financed by me, for myself and our parents. Pamela shared her troubles with you both, prompting our little switch, I explained, delighting in their dismay. Eric and Judy's expressions, a mix of shock and incomprehension, were a sight to behold. As the reality of the situation sank in, their faces betrayed their realization of the colossal mistake they had made. Meanwhile, Pamela, our parents, and I shared a look of satisfaction, knowing that the time for their reckoning had come. The switcheroo, a plan born out of desperation to protect Pamela and expose the truth, had successfully turned the tables, leaving Eric and Judy to grapple with the consequences of their actions. As I faced Eric and Judy, a sense of empowerment washed over me. This was my moment to confront them openly, an opportunity I relished. Eric, who had previously navigated life underestimating others, especially women, found my assertiveness and martial arts background daunting. His discomfort was palpable, a stark contrast to his demeanor with the more reserved Pamela. As he backed away, the tables had turned, and I couldn't hide the smirk that crept onto my face. Now you've been having your way for the past month, haven't you? I challenged them, my tone laced with a promise of retribution. Eric's confidence crumbled under my gaze, his previous underestimations of me now haunting him as fear took hold. Judy, however, still struggled to grasp the full extent of the situation, questioning our actions as if they were the ones wronged. Her accusations of illegal entry were met with my clarification that Pamela had authorized the switch, making any claims of legality moot. Their outrage at not being consulted mirrored the lack of respect they had shown towards Pamela's autonomy and safety within her own home. When Eric tried to muster a defense, influenced by Judy's bold but misguided stance, I revealed evidence that would change the course of our confrontation. The hidden camera footage, showcasing their verbal abuses and near-violent actions, left them scrambling for a defense. Their indignation at being recorded was ironic, given their blatant disregard for Pamela's well-being. The revelation of their true motives, coveting our parents' inheritance under the guise of concern, was damning. The video evidence of their callous discussions about Pamela and their plans for the property was a blow they hadn't anticipated. Our parents, who had joined us in confronting them, expressed their disgust and disappointment clearly. They had seen through the facade of assistance, revealing that they had never depended on Eric's financial support. Presenting a bag containing all the money Eric had sent, my parents made their stance clear. Their independence and foresight in managing their finances without relying on him underscored their integrity and resilience. The mention of their legal arrangements for the inheritance and their wills highlighted their meticulous planning for the future. Eric and Judy, now fully aware of the gravity of their actions and the unanimous condemnation from our family, looked desperately for a way out of the predicament they had created. Their schemes, built on deceit and manipulation, had crumbled, exposing their true characters to everyone involved. With no escape in sight, my mother stood resolutely at the door, effectively cutting off any thoughts Eric and Judy might have had about fleeing. "Thinking of returning to your place? That's futile," she declared. "We've placed your belongings outside. Pamela has terminated the lease. There's no returning to the past now." Eric and Judy's shock at being physically removed from the house was palpable. They rushed outside, only to be greeted by the sight of their possessions unceremoniously stacked in the cold. This was our family's stronghold, and we had no intention of harboring the effects of those who had wronged us. "Seems we helped you move out," I remarked, my words dripping with sarcasm, watching as frustration and realization dawned on their faces. They had played right into our hands, and now, defeated, they pleaded with Pamela for mercy. "Pamela, please, we're at your mercy. Without shelter in this harsh Alaskan winter, we're doomed," they begged, their pleas echoing in the chill air. January in Alaska is unforgiving, a landscape ensconced in snow where survival outside is a gamble with death. Yet their plight stirred no sympathy in me. "Perhaps you should consider constructing a snow shelter," I suggested mockingly, their dire situation almost a source of amusement. As they turned their pleas towards Pamela, her silence led me to worry she might falter. But then she stood firm, severing ties with a declaration of divorce and promises of legal action. Her newfound assertiveness left them dumbfounded, a stark departure from the Pamela they thought they knew. Pamela's decisive stand against them, claiming her independence and legal rights, marked a turning point. My heart swelled with pride at her courage. "Well said, Pamela. There's no forgiveness for what you've subjected our family to," I affirmed, my words the final blow to their crumbling defiance. Our family united in support of Pamela, promptly initiating the divorce proceedings with the help of a skilled lawyer. The community's swift awareness of Eric and Judy's misdeeds relegated them to pariahs, unable to remain in a town now hostile to their presence. Judy, in particular, became a social outcast at school, her reputation tarnished beyond repair. In the aftermath, our family embraced a peaceful existence. Pamela, now free from the shadows of her past, flourished as a comic artist, her creativity no longer stifled by oppression. Our home became a sanctuary of support and love, a testament to the strength we found in unity and the resilience to overcome adversity.